started. So he told us about this birreria place Don Boni. And then he's like, oh, it's in East LA. I'm like, where East LA? He told me the streets by the Mariachi Plaza.
Chalillo's Birreria is in East LA.
Yeah, Chalillo's in East LA.
Because 30 songs in 30 days.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
It's definitely a lot.
Yeah, we are trying to struggle with one topic.
We've been working on one song the past year.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
But he won't release them. And he's always like, I'm still fixing them. I'm still fixing them. And it's like, bro, it's music. It's art. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and like you said.
your authentic music. You've written all this music?
Everything,
and
yeah.
produced.
No, I haven't produced everything.
Okay.
Because I didn't start making music till... Tengo mi dinero y siempre hago lo que sea. Me vale. Soy la chambalera. En las calles soy la mera mera. Soy la chambalera. Tengo mi dinero y siempre hago lo que sea. Me vale. Wanna have my baby.
Welcome back. Welcome back. And welcome back again to the #1 Latino podcast in the world. I'm Memo.
I'm Omar.
And this is the White Podcast.
Why, bro?
Why not, Carnelio? Why not?
If you're a new subscriber or a new viewer, please make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment, and most important, keep that notification on.
Yeah. Ding.
To make sure you're updated with everything that comes out every Wednesday at 9 a.m.
That's right.
And you guys are gonna be like, you guys are gonna be like, oh my God, they're together, so close to each other now. We knew it. They're freaking gay. Look, guys, chill. We're zoomed in right now. You guys not gonna see it, but we do have a special guest.
Yeah.
Let me go to make the introduction. If you don't mind.
For sure.
So first of all, she's a musician. Okay, she's an actor.
Okay.
She's a teacher.
Yes.
She's a writer.
Writer.
She's a difference maker.
Okay.
With the founder of LALA Christmas Tree Foundation.
Like that.
I'll welcome you guys, Miss LALA.
Hello. Welcome. And feel comfortable, like I said. You feel comfortable. This is a camera. We're just gonna be talking and chopping it up. So I do appreciate you coming over and in this little podcast. You know, we just started a little project, and thank you so much for taking the time and coming here.
You know, everybody starts small, but you never know where you're going to get to, right?
Yeah,
so
for
if
sure.
it goes in your heart, go for it.
For sure. So, you wanna start?
Yes.
with
Well, first, like you said, thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.
I know not everybody. This is hard. Taking the time to come out and do something. It can be hard, especially with you having a busy schedule. So let's start off from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because I know you've been in social media for quite some time. Yeah. You got out. Now you're coming back. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up? Tell us.
A little bit on that.
So I was born in Guadalajara, Jalisco.
Okay.
They brought me here like around 2 years old. Grew up in East LA. Graduated from UCLA. Became a math teacher, like you guys said. Pandemic sent us home. That was my blessing. Honestly, 14 years of teaching, I loved it, but the system is crazy. The kids are crazy with social media and phones and everything. And then teaching math.
Yeah.
Everybody loves math, right? So I got an opportunity to start doing music. I never went back to teaching. And I've been in the music and with my foundation. This is going to be my 13th year, I believe.
Okay, cool.
Doing my foundation. And so, yeah, like the music just hasn't stopped. And I really believe it's been God that has helped me to start from just being a writer and like a rapper to going all in and being like a music producer, mixing engineering, and just doing everything when it comes to creating a song from scratch.
Nice. So I know you say you went to UCLA, right?
Yeah.
And you wanted, so your initial plans was to be a teacher. Did you like that, or how did that come about?
So I've always been great at math since a little girl. I really thought I was going to be like some kind of engineer.
Okay.
But it didn't happen. But when I went to UCLA, I was going for psychology because I come from a very broken home. Dad left when I was 12. Me and one of my sisters were molested by somebody. We just came from a very broken home. My mom, she wasn't abusive or like mean or anything, but she wasn't like caring and emotional. And I really knew that family was one of the most important things like in your life. So I really just wanted to help broken families like mine to like realize like the most important part is a relationship of parents with children and what does that look like. And so I went into psychology for that, but then I was like, no one's gonna listen to me. I don't even have kids. I don't even have a family. They're gonna be like, what do you know? Like, you can't tell me anything. You're not raising kids. You really don't know what it is. And I kind of understand that point. So through UCLA, I got a tutoring job, and I realized like, oh my God, math is my calling. And so that's how I went into math.
Wow. And how long did you do teaching for?
14 years.
14 years.
Yeah.
So that, go ahead, sorry.
So during your teaching years, were you into the social media or not yet? That came afterwards.
Well, like you're talking to someone that comes from way back when it was what was before Facebook?
MySpace.
There you
MySpace.
go. Yeah. I know some of you guys are like, well, what is she talking about?
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I'm talking about way back to when that started. So when I was teaching, I remember MySpace was already popping up. So I remember even having a MySpace account, which I remember back then. That's when I started doing music because back then you could put one song on your
And there,
profile. Like
yeah.
that was a song that I did as a collab with someone else.
Oh wow. Okay.
So like the music thing happened for me a long time ago, but back then you really needed a record label. There
For
was no
sure.
YouTube, there was no self distribution. Like,
Yeah.
you couldn't do anything. So I kind of just left it alone, and it's just amazing how it has came back.
So okay. So then you're talking about music being your calling, I think, right? Because you went to teaching, but you've always had a little thing
Yeah.
of either. So it's always been rapping, or it's just been just music in general.
You know what I think? I think it's always been entertainment. Because
Okay.
I remember Plaza Sesamo? No, you guys are
Yeah, yeah,
too
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
we
what's
do.
on?
There was a
Yeah.
show, Plaza Sesamo. Like, I remember watching that show and always telling myself, one day I'm gonna be on TV. One day I'm gonna be on TV. So, like, the acting, the entertainment was always in my heart.
Okay.
Like, that was, like, for sure. The music, I don't know, maybe because my dad used to be in a grupo,
Okay.
norteño, and, he's very good, like, piano. He plays guitar. He was segunda voz. Like, my mom loves to dance. I don't know if it comes a little bit from that, but yeah, like I just always knew. So I think it started first and foremost with the acting, and
Okay.
then the music kind of came about, and now I'm full on music and acting. Like I'm literally almost auditioning every single day. Today I got like a game show, like casting, like just like I'm always really into that now.
Okay.
Music and acting.
All right.
Did you do like any acting? Cause I know they have like a in high school they have like a how do you call you show your
Yeah,
talent
yeah.
or talent show?
Talent shows.
Did you do any talent show during school or?
Yeah, I did talent shows since I was in elementary. Like in
Okay.
elementary, I used to do the talent shows. I used to be in cheer. I used to love to dance. I used to play the violin. Like I used to be in the little chorus, but not like I never sang like by myself. And I don't have vocal skills. Like sí he sacado una canción de banda y norteño. I think like 2 or 3 norteño songs que saqué y una banda, but singing a mí no me nace
nace?
naturally. Like I cannot just hit notes and go through a song.
Okay,
Like I
okay.
really have to go to a vocal teacher y que me enseñen. But rapping me sale natural and normal and like dynamics and a flow. Like eso me sale tan natural. I don't have to try hard.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go back to. I don't know if maybe some people might know you from Malecon, right? How does that chemistry come about? How does the relationship come about with you and the Malecon people out there?
So back in the days, okay, so I know right now like clubs for a while they hire girls as hosts,
Uh-huh.
but a host for them is just putting a picture of them on the flyer and then posting it on their social media. Back in my days when I started that hosting, like they really made me talk on the mic as the MC.
Oh, okay, okay,
Like
okay.
introducing the bandas and everything, and intermediate and the DJs like talk to the crowd and pump up the crowd. And so I used to work with everybody. I used to work with Halos, with Malecon, with all the promoters. I used to do all kinds of club, Ibiza. Like I worked with everybody, and I did because I just been in the party scene for so long. And so that's how I started working with everybody. But I want to say that the one I always worked mostly close with, well, not really, because even Rancho Milde, like I used to do the show with them. I used to interview. I was their first host to interview their artists,
Oh, really?
when they started their Rancho Milde TV channel. And so I was with them and I was with Osiris, but then I also knew Joe Michael and he used to hire me for Halo. So it was just like, I was just with everybody, and I just worked with everybody and I just partied with everybody. Saludos a todos. Back in the days, not anymore, but we might have a party soon. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, so that's how it came about. But then it just got to a point where Osiris just told me like come work exclusively for Malecon. And
Okay.
to me, I saw it as a convenience. So like that, I don't have to worry about getting extra income if nobody got me on
Yeah.
the weekend. Like yo tengo mi
De planta,
salary,
pues, de planta,
yeah, de plazo for the month.
Yeah.
So, and then I'll just be promoting one club and just be focused on one club. And honestly, Osiris always showed me like complete loyalty and respect. And he always backed me up with all my projects. Any dumb thing I wanted to do, okay, I want to start hookah, okay, I want to do this. Like he's one of the main ones that always believed in me. So I just wanted to be also loyal back, and that's why I went to Malecon.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
started there.
So you said So you have different projects you folks want to do. Like you said, the hookah right now. You mentioned the hookah, right? Is that something you wanted to? You just kind of spontaneously did?
Yeah, I actually did it. I was the first one to introduce hookah to the clubs. Like the
Okay.
reason why everybody brought hookah into their clubs is because I opened
Okay.
up a
I
hookah
remember
club
when. Yeah, I remember when it
back
started
in the
like kind of
days.
popping. I was like, damn, these people putting hookahs and all that stuff. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I started that. I had like an after hours spa
Okay.
in downtown LA at a strip club, but not in the strip club.
But
Next to the
outside.
strip club,
Okay.
there was like a room, and so that's where we used to serve the hookah. And so I started that little business, but then they ended up selling the hookah place, so we had to get out. And I did everything legit. You know, I got my tobacco license,
Okay, that's
and I did
cool.
everything like a real business because I like to do everything like as
Legit.
legal as possible because you know you don't want to
Yeah,
get
for
caught
sure,
up
for
because
sure.
it's not worth it. You know.
So as far as going back again to the Malecon, is there anything crazy you've seen? And I'm pretty sure you've seen some crazy things if you've been involved in
I've
all that
done
stuff,
crazy
right?
things. What do you mean?
Yeah. So what kind of story would you like to let us know? I talked about like, hey, do you remember this one story where like, shit, man, I was scary, like maybe like fights or something. I don't know anything that you might think of.
So many things, but I'm not really the type of person to talk about people. I
Yeah.
just talk about myself. Like, oh my God, I could literally. Okay, I'll tell you two.
Okay, two
Okay.
is fine.
One sounds so horrible, walk of shame, and then the second one will really made me stop drinking. So one of them, I don't know. I've always been like the type drink my whiskey on the rocks,
Okay.
you know, and then like I would take Patron shots like at midnight. Bad mix, I know, horrible. And so there's one day I was just crazy mixing, and then you guys know how I sit on stage,
Yeah.
and then there's like all the VIPs in front of me, and like usually all the girls like they're really kind, they're really nice, so I'm saying hi to everybody, I'm
Yeah.
drinking shots with them, you know, and then I don't know how this was my birthday night because my birthday's November 1st.
Okay.
So I have to do Halloween because then at midnight is
Oh,
November 1st,
right.
right? So I wasn't expecting a party or nothing, but Malecon surprised me and they brought me flowers and they brought me a champagne and then I was mixing with the whiskey and everything and it just got so crazy. And then I was partying with this girl. And so then the whole club was looking for me. And I remember, but I don't remember that I was locked up in a bathroom stool with that girl for like 30 minutes. Like, what were we doing? What were we not doing? I don't know. But see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, those blackouts were just like
crazy.
not cool. Yeah. And like, even she was like, no me acuerdo de nada, Lala, ¿qué pasó? And I'm like, oh no. Like, I mean, I was so in shame because I don't know what happened. They just found me in the restroom, you know, with her. Like, I don't know. Probably my dress was off. They said, but I don't know. We were just using the restroom.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
I don't know, but it's just scary and it's just horrible. And then kind of the same thing happened to me again. They hired me to promote, or I went to interview someone at Pico Rivera Sports Arena. We drank too much, and then we still drank more
More.
at Malecon. I ended up VIP through VIP,
Tore up.
tore up. Que I'm sitting in guys' labs, and I don't know what. Long story short, I wake up. It's 9 in the morning. I'm locked up in the office of Malecon by myself. Like no one's there, and I'm like, what happened?
Really? And you
Yeah.
woke up, nobody was there. Or people there.
Nobody
No?
was there. Nobody was there.
Wow.
Like I was completely left there. And then I had my mom pick me up, and my mom's words just got to my heart. And then I never drank again. Really, like that's really when I kind of really stopped. My mom goes, "Me recuerdas a tu papá," and I was like, that was
Done.
like stab in the heart, and I was just like, man, I think I'm done.
Why do you think I want to say like, why do you think people like drinking like that? Because I was thinking about it too, and I had this conversation with her a few months ago. I was like, bro, I don't know why is it that we like to get drunk, we put ourselves through like a hangover, and that's like the worst thing possible. So it's kind of like, why is it that people like that? Or why is it that we're like so young, we're just so like, who cares? We don't look at the like repercussions of like our body, the aftermath.
I think number one, the absence of God. The absence of God will make you do things of the world because when you're in the world belongs to Satan, his demons and principalities. So we're going to do the pleasures of the flesh, which is not of the spirit, and things of the spirit are of God. And so if you have a deep relationship with God, you won't look for those things to have fun, to relax, because that's really what we're chasing,
Yeah.
a pleasure, a relax, a time off from the real world. So number one is the absence of God. Number two, when you're young, you could tolerate more, but as you get older, you tolerate less. So those blackouts, you don't think they're gonna happen. Before you know it, boom,
Done.
they just hit you. You know, so age also plays like a big factor. And I don't think anybody ever drinks with the intention, I want to black out today, not remember.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and that's not what it is. But it could just creep up like that. You know, so I just think like, I mean, I'm no one to tell nobody what to do. I mean, I did it for so long, but I can honestly tell you that my relationship with God is so fulfilling now that I don't need to get drunk. I don't need to be at the club. I don't need to be looking for no one's acknowledgement. I don't need to get a high to feel good and just be content with myself.
Yeah. Do you think that that absence of your father played a role in that? As far as you going out and looking for that male figure out there, or do you think it was just you partying up like a regular young girl that does, just drinks out and stuff?
I honestly want to say that I don't think I had daddy issues.
Okay.
I really don't think that. Even being molested, I don't think I had issues with that because I've always been very good at blocking like bad or negativity, like not remembering, not dwelling on that. Like it wasn't like I was crying for dad.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think I was consciously out there looking for that attention. To me, I've always been so hardworking. This is how I saw it because, you know, I put myself through UCLA by myself. I, you know, got a teaching career. I always taught and then I did a business. I don't know if you guys remember, I used to have a boutique. So, like, I used to teach and then cross the street and then work
your
my
boutique.
store till 7 p.m. And then I did my acting side on the side. And I always like been such a hard working to me. The weekends was like my time off and I love music. I love dancing. That's how I started. Cause I actually am a late drinker and a late, what do you call me? Sex person. Like I started drinking when I was 24 years old. That's kind of late. I was already clubbing. I was all ages partying since 16 and I still didn't drink till at 24 and I was at Rodeo, I was at all the clubs and I wasn't drinking the way then after the 24 and on I started drinking and then I lost my virginity at 27. So I was a late bloomer to all those things that a lot of us end up falling into, you know, but you eventually end up falling into it and it just gets worse. So I just, yeah, like, I don't really know what the question was anymore. But
I wanted to go ahead and move the conversation because I know we talked about your music, right? Your music career and how you're still striving to, you know, make that hit. Because once you make that hit, you're just going to the moon after that.
Yeah.
I know we have a history of like doing dumb stuff, getting drunk. We get to witness stuff that probably we shouldn't be involved, right? At Malecon, at Rodeo, there's people doing drugs or whatever the case might be. What was for you something eye opening for you to be like, I need to get close to God? Or was there like a particular situation where like, this is it, I'm done? Like, I need God in my life?
Oh, who introduced you to God?
Or who introduced you to
Yeah.
God?
Well, you know what? Like, since me that I've always been so ambitious, I never really had mentors in my life to like speak, pour into me how to grow more, right? So I always leaned on books and I've always leaned on YouTube, like self-made millionaires. So everybody you could think of on YouTube that's self-made millionaire, I listened to them and I knew everything they spoke about. And during pandemic, I don't know how, I ended up in Bishop T.D. Jake's YouTube and he was all preaching about God. And whoa, like that fed me like never before all these years that I've been reading supposedly the main books to make you rich and to make you successful and to make you happy and to make you free and to, you know what I mean? And with him, like, whoa, the word of God was just feeding my soul. And like, I just remember listening to T.D. Jakes for like 4 hours or more during pandemic. And then during pandemic, everything was shut down except for my tanning salon. And the girl was going to a Bible study and I'm like, I want to go. Because at UCLA, I used to take Bible study. And then I started going into that. And then the minister that was like preaching the word, like it was just feeding my soul. And then I'm just gonna be honest, like I never turned back. Like somebody from there invited me to church. I was like, no, I'm against the church, hypocrites, and da-da-da. You know, we've all been
Yeah, of
hurt by
course.
the church, or I was raised Catholic. I never saw godly living at my house. Like my dad was always drinking and beating on us. You know, my mom was never there. I never saw a Bible. No one ever, you know, there was no good morals. No one ever taught us anything, you know, and my dad thought he was teaching us something by always hitting us and beating us up, you know. So I was so against the church. And then one day my heart just grew and I told the girl, I want to go to church. And the first day that I went to church, I felt the presence of God. Like I knew the pastor was anointed. Like I knew there was love and acceptance, you know, because the church, I always felt like everybody judges you. Everybody's telling you what to do and not to do, all the things that you're doing wrong. Everybody's always criticizing you. But in that church, I felt love and acceptance. And I think I know that's what God always intended. Not religion. Religion killed Jesus. Religion criticizes you and judges you and tells you like it's always just trying to fix you, and like God meets you where you're at, and God always meant love him and love people as you love yourself. And that's what I felt there. And the new church, that pastor retired, but I'm in a new church, and it's exactly what's happening. It's all in the foundation of love, the true principles of the Bible. And so
So as far as to you go to church. You go to church now. You try to go weekly. Is this like things you're practicing now, or are you still? Yeah.
completely.
And I know you just mentioned to me how you've dove yourself into God and the love of God, and how things are just kind of just falling, just falling in place,
Amen.
which is kind of not crazy to think of, but just kind of like how God works in mysterious ways, right?
Amen.
You've went through all this stuff and as a youth and as a teens to now be here, and I guess like you said, God made you where you're at now, and now you want to talk a little bit about how you want to maybe get signed, or I don't know. How do you feel about that? Or we don't have to talk about it. We can cut it to everyone. Don't worry about it. So I know. I don't know. Do you want to talk about that?
Well, I think he wants to say something.
No. I was gonna say the same thing.
Well, yes, we could. Let's talk about that, but let me just backtrack a little bit.
Okay.
So this is the way God works. So like, when you give your life to God, and you're serious about it, like you start reading the Bible and you start really praying and building your relationship with God, where God start like he threw the light on all my sin and like all my wrongs, but in a gentle, beautiful God, in a beautiful way. That's the God that we serve, just a beautiful God, like such a good God, right? So it's not like a journey that I've been with him in a little while. Like I've been walking with God, like I want to say 4 years now. Well, since pandemic, like
Okay,
I said,
okay.
right? 4 years, and really, really all in that I feel mature and everything. It's like barely recently.
Okay.
But see, that's what God does. Like God consecrates you. What does that mean? Like he kind of like puts you in the dark, because it's like I gotta work all these things out in you. I have to build a new character, a new mindset, a new heart, because there's so much stuff from being in the world that I need to make you kind and nice and gentle and loving and peaceful, because that's who I am. Because we're made in the likeness and image of God, right? So that's why God has had me so hidden for 4 years. These 4 years, I probably go to Malecon once a year from all those 4 years. Like you don't see me out there. You don't like, because God has been making a change in my mind and in my heart. And like, I'm not gonna say like I've arrived. You're never gonna get there. Every day you have to be intentional in being loving, in being patient, in being kind, in the world, and representing the light of God and his truth and everything. But I do feel like I'm in a different level of maturity. My heart is right with God. I understand a lot of things. That's why, like I was mentioning to you, like things are just like people just been calling me right now. Like it's just been insane. Like I told you. So there's this guy. He was the mero mero of Luis del Villar from
Okay.
Gerencia 360, and he just moved on to do his like own company and everything, which he has already hit me up in the past,
Okay.
like 2 years ago or a year ago, like Lala, let's work. I see you, da-da-da-da. And then like recently, but he didn't have his label then.
Okay.
He just had publishing, and then now he's like, Lala, let's meet up, like I want to sign you, like let's work, let's really be all in. So kind of we had like a small conversation, and I'm like, all right, send me contract A, contract B of like
Yeah. Well,
what and we're supposed to meet tomorrow, but he already sent me the contracts. I already looked it over.
nice.
And tomorrow I'm going to be meeting with him, and I know from this other guy that used to do all the artwork. He's amazing. Shout outs to Nestor. Oh my God, Nestor.
Shout out Nestor.
Nestor. Oh my God,
Nestor.
he's so amazing. He did like all the merch, all the stuff for Adriel Favela. Like he's amazing. He worked for her Gerencia 360 too. Like he's told me, oh, that guy, like he knows what he's doing. He knows. That's why I know, like, sí sabe, Y
Yeah,
pues
yeah,
era
for
el
sure.
mero mero allí, next to la mano derecha de Luis del Villar, But so anyways, I'm gonna go see what's up. I'm not desperate.
Okay.
Praise God. God is my manager, So I do want to be wise, and I always want to look onto console, onto God. So like I have to take it to prayer, and I gotta feel in peace, And but of course, I want to collaborate. I can't do this by myself.
Yeah.
I need a team, and I'm really looking for a team. But the reality is that there has to be some foundation of God in my team, because if not, I know that drinking's a priority. I know that you chasing money is a priority. When God is not your priority, you have other things as priority. So then I don't know if I could really trust you, because I used to be that. Like my priority, since it wasn't God, it was me. it was me. ¿Qué le voy a ganar yo? ¿Qué me van a dar a mí? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. I can't expect anything other, but that's why it's so important that I'm a little wise on who I end up working
Yeah.
with, you know, because
So so you're still trying to build your team? Are you working
I
on that?
need my
A
team.
team?
That's what we're working on.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
for sure.
Yeah, I think you made a great point, right? Because a lot of people are they don't see that big picture, right? They think sometimes they think they could do it themselves, which is maybe doable, but it's harder, right? To have
of
better
work.
connections, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of just you focus on yourself. You're doing everything. You're doing setup. You're doing all that stuff. So it's a lot of work. I'm pretty sure you're aware of that. Um, so with you said it was guy's name Luis. His name.
No, his name is Ivan.
Oh, Ivan. Okay, so that guy, he say you've been rapping, or you've been putting music out there for a while now. He's the one reaching out, and this is through only raps, and this is all your authentic music. You've written all this music
Everything,
and
yeah.
produced.
No, I haven't produced everything.
Okay.
Because I didn't start making music till my first music production was Shooting Star. So from Shooting Star and on, everything is mine. 100%. Like
cool.
I made the entire beat. I wrote
Oh,
the entire
okay,
song.
okay.
I didn't record all those songs. Some I went to the studio and I got them mixed and mastered.
Okay.
But last year I made 30 songs in 30 days.
Wow.
And like I created everything from scratch. I'm mixing and mastering everything. Like everything is me. Even the album cover. Sorry, Nestor, I don't go with you anymore. But we're just trying to get things out. But Nestor's amazing. and
So
he does.
how did these how did these songs come about? Is there any particular, like, you feel like on the zone at the moment? Is there a certain situation you went through that same day that you're like, you know what? Let me put this on my own word. Let me write this out. Let me figure this out. How does that work? How do you get inspired to do all these songs? Because 30 songs in 30 days.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
It's definitely a lot.
Yeah, we are trying to struggle with one topic. at
We've
a
been
time,
working
you know
on
what I
one
mean?
song the past year.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's just the credit to what you like to do, and if you really like and to enjoy things, you do it. You know what I mean? So what inspires you to do stuff like that?
Number one, God.
Okay.
Okay, apart from God, we can't do anything. So you want to get more easily like topics and everything, like you got to come to God. You got to believe God. Because remember, God is all wisdom.
Yeah.
He knows everything, right? And he can do anything. And he's the one that gave you these talents of you hosting your own show, right? He's the one that gives you all that. So you want to receive more from him. Well, you need to give to him. You need to give him time. You need to listen to him. You need to read his word. That's how you communicate, because it's about relationship with God, right? And again, love, because the most important thing is your character. When your character is right, and you're clear conscious, not caught up in the drama and the storms and your problems and your challenges. When you're clear conscious to God and how great and how good he is, like when you have the Holy Spirit in you, like he enables you to like do anything.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm gonna be super honest with you. Last year, this is a true testimony. Last year, no había sacado ninguna canción. I hadn't written or created no music. Why? Because another label, big time label, wanted to sign me. So I was waiting on them. But I had 2 songs from that year before that I still hadn't released, but they wanted me to release them with them. So I was like, okay, when are you coming? What? Because this person was out of the country. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's okay. So the whole time I was like, just waiting. It was already February. I'm not lying to you. Early morning, first thing I get into prayer. I go get my little pillow. I put it to get on my knees. When I was going to get my pillow, I heard in me music. And I didn't pay attention. I was like, whatever. Got my pillow, got on my knees, and I prayed, right? And the Lord told me again, like, music. And so when I was done praying, I literally sat in my bed like this after putting my little cushion over there in my sofa. And I was like, God, but I'm not motivated. I'm not inspired. I don't feel like doing music. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, what are we going to do? But then at the end of the day, I obeyed God, right? Oh, and I want to send a shout out to Jeff Garcia. He's an amazing comedian. He bought me all my equipment to record myself at my house.
Oh,
So
nice.
I have all my equipment brand new. Haven't touched it. Haven't made a song, nothing. It's all brand new sitting there. And then God tells me music, like, and so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go see what happens. I don't know. So then, I don't know. I just made a beat and I just made a song and I just felt so on fire. And then I just felt like, why am I waiting for these people to sign me?
Yeah.
Like, why am I waiting for people to give me opportunities? Like, I give myself opportunities. Well, not me, the Lord. Like,
Yeah.
look at what the Lord did. And I don't know if that was from the Lord, the 30 days and 30 songs, but I put myself, like, I gave myself that challenge. Like, I really think it was the Lord because he made me complete it. Like, and how did all these different kind of beats, like, if you listen to all the songs right now que he sacado, I'm still dropping them because I started dropping them and I was dropping them every every week, like super fast. And then like I expanded it to every 3 weeks. Pero todavía me quedan de esas 30 songs, ya lancé 20 something, todavía me quedan like 7 left. You know? So yeah, like every song was different. That first song, it was like I made the beat, then I wrote the song, and then I recorded myself. But then there was times where I wrote the song and then I made the beat.
Okay.
And then there was times where I really had to study music and different writing. Like, for example, like what makes Eminem the biggest rapper? Like who is the top of the rappers and why? Okay, it's Eminem, it's Jay-Z, and it's Kanye West. What makes them the top 3 rappers? Like vocabulary. They have, like, for example, Eminem was the top because in all his songs, he used 10,000 something something different words in all his raps. Kanye West was number 2 because he used 8,000 different words. So I was like, okay, vocabulary is important. You gotta always use different words, right? Of course, cadence and your punchlines and your metaphors and all that makes a big difference, you know? So I really studied music to even get better at my writing. So sometimes I get stuck in writing, so I'll just create 3 beats and not write to any of them because I was stuck,
Okay.
you know? And then after I'll come back to the beat and then I had something. And then it would be crazy because sometimes I'm like, I think I run out of ideas. I think I don't have nothing. But then like I'll remember something and
write it
boom,
down.
just write the song, you know? So
So
How do you? I wanted to ask a question in regards to the beat in the music. How are you satisfied? Because I know I've tried doing beats in my house, and I was there for about like maybe 3 hours, but it felt like 15 minutes, and I did not get anything. I think part of it's because like I like to use AI a lot, and I'm like solely just relying on AI since I don't have like music background.
I
But
don't either.
but how? Yeah, but you have a history of making music. You have a history of like learning about music. Me, I just kind of got into it like last year. So my question to you is: how are you satisfied with the music that you've made so far? Like, are you like, okay, 100%? Let's move on to the next one.
are you so adding on to him? Are you are you just putting out just to put out, or are you just kind of like putting all your heart in the music and just letting it go, I mean hit? Because I know sometimes for us we do content to just to do like fillers, like do how much is we have to record a week, we
Yeah.
just do fillers. You know what I mean? I mean they're not pretty bad. We have a lot of topics to talk about, but it's just like we have to record it. We have the weekly recording, so we have to put like content out there. You know, just
And the
put
weird thing is
content out
that
there.
those videos are the ones that get the most traction on our page. So I'm just like, and we talked about nonsense.
Yeah.
But yeah, how do you determine like, okay, this is a good beat. Let's move on to. How are you satisfied within yourself?
Well, I think number one, when I was working through all these songs, God kept telling me, trust the process. So what does that mean? Trust your heart. Don't think too hard. You know what I mean? When you're thinking too hard and you're being analytical, you're not even being real to the song,
Yeah.
to the beat, to anything.
Right.
So I just don't try hard. Like
Just
just
flows.
let it go. Sometimes you're starting, you're like, how does this even make sense? Or how is this even gonna connect? And then it does. You know what I mean? So just kind of because I see a lot of writers. I've seen actually, saludos a Alianza Records. One of the guys, Tony, his son, has written so many songs, but he won't release them. And he's always like, I'm still fixing them. I'm still fixing them. And it's like, bro, it's music, it's art. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and like you said, the ones that you play around and at the end you say something dumb and you just crack up, like that's the one they
They
hit
catch it,
because
yeah.
of what you said, not
Yeah.
even the song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you just really have to enjoy it. Just really have to have fun. It really just has to come from the heart. That's really it. So to me, it's just telling my story. And at the end of the day, my story, I wanted to inspire you, to empower you, to inspire me.
Yeah.
I pump my own music and I'm my own number one fan because first of all, I can't believe I made it. I know it was God. Like, how did I make this beat? This beat
Yeah.
is so dope. Nobody recognizes it right now. Nobody gives me the credit, but I don't even care. The fact that I got to do it with God and the fact that I get to hear it, I'm like, man, that's a dope beat. And then I'm listening to my lyrics. I'm like, who flows like that? Who writes like that? Who thinks like that? Like, it's only because, you know, me doing it with God and it's inspiring to me. Like, it lifts me up. Like, sometimes I forget what I wrote, and then I was just listening to my music recently, and I was like, there's a song Step It Up. I'm like, man, that song is dope. I forgot about this song. And then there's another song, Misfit, and like that one, I'm like, man, that flow is like different than all my other
Yeah.
songs. Like, it's so, I don't know, like, I'm just my number one fan, honestly, because
That's good.
everything is so different. Like, you listen to Pura Lumbre and then you listen to VIP or you listen to Misfit and you're like, what? The same girl did all
All
this?
this.
Like, it just doesn't even make sense, you know?
So you did is there like any particular thing you say you just talk about anything in there, or is there any particular thing you try to focus on, or is it like more like trending stuff, or it's just whatever
Never
comes to your heart?
trending because I don't follow the trends.
Okay.
I don't watch social media. I don't follow really. I'm not up to date. I don't watch TV, nothing like
Yeah.
that. Like literally, you have to tell me there's fires going on for me to know there's a fire.
Okay.
Like I don't.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
so like.
Out of
Yeah, like
tune.
yeah, because like I said, God was consecrating me. Like He had to do a work in me that I couldn't, like I'm telling you, I was just so messed up. Anybody that's in the world, like we're so messed up. We need Jesus. We
Yeah.
need to someone like a living God to really teach us to know how to be, in heart and mind. Because everything starts right here.
Yeah.
You think something and then you start feeling the emotions, and then those emotions make you talk, make you, from here, you're going to speak those
Project it
things,
out.
and then you're going to act those things. So you can speak love if you're bitter, if you're angry, right? And that's why you hear people like, oh, like just snapping, like it's not even like something happened in that moment, it's something they're carrying inside, right? And so it's only through God that can heal you and free you from all those things. So that work had to take place in me. But what was the question?
As far as no, yeah. I mean, you're right. As far as I'm talking about like the lyrics, like
Like
how
the-
do you
yeah.
like you just come up with the lyrics just because it's like it comes naturally. You
It's my
said right.
story. Yeah, it's really my stories. Like if you listen to like for example, yo, that's me. Like me, I grew up like my story as growing up as a little girl. My dad not being there, my mom not being there, but like so what? Like you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, every song has a message to inspire and lift you up. That was the whole point, right? Like to lift you up. Every song, even my darkest song, is Tengo Frío. Like that was in a moment of my life when I made the 30 songs in 30 days because I lost my dog and ooh, just feeling it. And beyond losing my dog, like I feel like it was just deeper than that. Like I just went through a very deep sorrow. I was at my bottom of my bottom, but praise God that because of my relationship with God, I hang in there because I could tell you the truth. Like I had to disappear from social media when my dog passed because she was with me for 17 years. She was like my daughter. And like I completely disappeared from social media. When I came back, I was just honest with people. Like I was such in this darkness that if I didn't have my relationship with God, I would have committed suicide. That's just how horrible I felt. You know what I mean? And that's the reality and why we all need God because any moment can be so hard
Yeah.
that you just want to take your life.
What kind of dog was it? Or
She was a poodle and Maltese.
Okay.
did you take them everywhere? Did you take your dog everywhere?
Like that last year, I was taking her to all my red carpets, to all my performances, to vocal class. Like she was with me everywhere.
That's really interesting that you say that. My wife has a dog. She has a German Shepherd, and she has her at her mom's. And lately, I've been walking the dog, and I feel like it's a weird. It's weird. Somehow, I cared about this dog, and he looks at me. He like makes like a crying noise. It's like, and I feel like I know what he's saying, but without him telling me, I just feel like okay, he wants to go for a walk, and he's happy. I'm like, and I was telling my wife, I'm like, I don't know if I've ever felt this type of love for a dog, but like it's really really weird falling in love with a dog. Like it's just some type of like
They have unconditional love, bro.
yeah, but the way you feel is kind of like I don't know if you feel. I'm sure you felt this way, but like even my feelings got hurt because I didn't walk him. Like it's so weird. I was just like, and I walked him by myself like 2 days ago, and I was just like, I would have never thought of like caring for a dog, let alone by myself. Of like, usually my wife tell me, "Oh, can you go take the dog for a walk?" I'm like, "Yeah," but this one's kind of just grew out of me. I'm like, this is weird. Like, I'm happy that the dog's happy. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but I can now imagine 17 years, bro,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with a dog.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, like you were saying, you got close to God, and thanks to God, you were able to kind of like, because it's, I mean, I don't even want to talk about it, like the whole mindset of like going through suicidal thoughts and stuff. Like, how was that?
What? Because it was deeper than me losing my dog. Because for me losing my dog, I started thinking about people that have lost a real child. So I started feeling their pain, right? And then I started recognizing how it's so easy for those people to get into like a drug addiction or alcoholism or like shopping to like alleviate that pain. And it just took me back to, and this is going to sound really crazy, but it was like the Holy Spirit was showing me how he's grieving, how he's so concerned about the people. Like he wanted me to realize how people are so brokenhearted out there for either losing a child or something else, and that's why it's so important for me to minister the gospel of peace, the love of God, because it's only through him that we can find that healing and that freedom.
Yeah, it is crazy. Like if you think about stuff like that, how people end up in certain situations because they don't know how to manage the feelings. You know, so that's the hardest part. Seeing that, especially if you see someone that you know for a couple of years and they just divert their lives into something really bad, like drugs, whatever it is, because of the situation they suppress, and that's the only way. That's the only reason they go into like other dark moments or dark areas. But I want to move a little bit forward, a little more bright in area. You said you wanted to have. I mean, not you have 13 years with this foundation, right? Want to talk about a little bit of the foundation? You said 14 years. How much is it?
I think this is my 13-year
13
anniversary.
year.
Or is it
So
12? I don't know.
so can you talk little bit about that? What exactly is that foundation? Why did you create that foundation, and how it's been evolving into what it is now?
Yeah, so it's Lala's Christmas Tree Foundation.
Okay.
And it started one year that I invested in a bad business. It was going really, really down. And I couldn't afford a Christmas tree. And so I asked my sister, shout out to my sister. She
Shout
sent
out,
me this
sister.
dress. She didn't really talk to me, but she sent me this dress with my mom. So, like, I love you and I appreciate you. And I hope very soon you want to build a relationship with me. But anyways, so my sister didn't want to help me buy a tree. So I just didn't have a tree. And then somebody brought it up, like, no insult to Jewish people, but he was like, "Hey, Judía, ¿dónde está tu arbolito de Navidad? You know, how come you haven't gotten your Christmas tree?" And I just started crying because I really wanted a Christmas tree and I
Yeah.
couldn't afford one. And so right there at that moment, I don't know why I'm crying and I told him, "Put the camera on me. I'm gonna do a video." And then I just declared, because I'm the type of person, I give my word, like I'm gonna come through, like
Yeah.
I'm a person of my word. And so I just said, like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I noticed I'm being selfish. Like, I forgot where I came from. I forgot, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
praise God, I had bought my beautiful brand new house and all this, and all I'm thinking about is getting a Christmas tree and what car am I gonna get next and what it is. Like, I forgot about like my hood, where I come from, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna give 1,000 Christmas trees. And that year, my first year, we gave 1,050 trees to
Really?
families that have never had a tree or were just going through a struggling moment and weren't gonna be able to afford one.
So with the presence of your social media, because you have about well maybe 40. How much is it? The followers you have right now?
On what
Social media, Instagram.
On Instagram is 40.
Yeah. So with you did the video on Instagram, or where'd you do the video at?
Well, that was so old. It was 2012. Was Instagram still happening?
Oh, I don't even know.
No,
Maybe
it was
not. Maybe
probably
Facebook.
Facebook or
Or
Okay.
something, I don't
So
know.
when you did that video, did people reach out to you like, "Hey, I want to help you out with that," or it was how did you become? How did that come about? Did you collab with anybody?
Oh my God, that was the most stressful year. I didn't know how to get a Christmas tree. I don't know how I was gonna make this happen. Like, I don't start a foundation, first of all.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know how to start a foundation. I don't know, but the Lord just led me. But I remember it was stressful and it was hard. I remember one time I had one girl specifically that she was helping me with, and I remember having coffee with her and her tia, and I was crying because I just had headaches. I was just so stressed out how I was gonna make this happen, you know? And like, literally, like, I wrote my story of why I wanted to do it. I come from a poor background. You know, I grew up in garages in East LA, very, very poor. We never had a Christmas tree growing up, you know. And I saw the value of a Christmas tree, not that year that I couldn't afford it. I saw the value after that year. In that moment, that's why I wanted to do the Christmas trees, because the first year that I was able to buy my Christmas tree, it was such a beautiful moment. Like I said, my sister don't really talk to me, but that year she came with me to the tree farm. You know, no man in the house. You know, we never been really close, but it was so much fun to like go find the best. I wanted the biggest white because I like the white theme.
Yeah.
You know, they put it on top of my truck. We got home, like us struggling, trying to bring it down from my
Yeah.
truck, trying to put it inside the house. Ni cabía porque estaba alto. We had to cut it, and then like never been really close to my mom. It brought us together to decorate the tree, and it just brought so much joy and so much light that I recognized that, and that's why I wanted to do that for families, you know. So I wrote my story about all that, and that girl that was helping me, shout out to Maggie. She was just sending it to random people. She was finding their email online,
Oh, wow.
and she hit this lawyer that called me, made a meeting with me. I showed up to his beautiful, amazing office in downtown LA. I showed up. He has like 7 assistants taking notes for him, and he sits me down and he's all like, your foundation's already made. We're gonna make it happen. Just keep fundraising whatever you can. I'm gonna make sure you give those 1,000 trees.
That's
That's
wild.
awesome. Man. Shout out to that. Huh? Shout out to that guy.
Shout out to that lawyer.
Shout outs, shout outs.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. That's
That's
wild.
awesome too, right? Have you collaborated with anybody else? Like, is this something for you foresee in the future? Because I know a lot of people that maybe want to collaborate with you as well.
I would love collaborations. Shout outs to David too from Gordo y la Flaca. He always had my back and like doing like a little segment
Okay.
for El Gordo y la Flaca. One time, Regulo Caro, he donated a guitar, which actually Jose Barron too. They donated me. Well, actually Jose Barron, they gave it to me for my birthday, and then I donated it to my
Okay, cool.
foundation. So people donated like $500 for.
Okay.
They got the guitar, and the money went to the foundation. And actually, Regulo Caro came, and Gordo y la Flaca, came to do a segment to record us taking the tree to the family, to their
Oh,
house.
wow, that's cool.
Because I take my trees home to home. Not all the time for that 1,000. We didn't take, all those trees home to home. But last year I took every single Christmas tree home to home. So I am always looking for, to collaborate, for people to come and help out, volunteers and all that. Because right now, the foundation has, I did start a new thing this year because I actually started last year. I want to do more than just Christmas trees. I don't want to wait just to the end of the year and do Christmas tree, which is beautiful and amazing and impacting. But I want to be more connected with my community. So right now I'm hosting a poetry contest.
Okay.
So it was open for a month for people to submit. I closed the deadline March 31st. People can't submit their poems anymore. So right now they're under review.
Okay.
And then April 16, I'm gonna announce the winners. First place gets $100, second place $50, and just to get just to connect
Unity.
with my community and everything.
good.
So I want to do things like that of the arts that grow in my heart, because believe it or not, my music and writing background comes from me having a poem assignment in the 9th grade. My English teacher asked for a poem, and that was the first time I ever written a poem, and I loved it. And so from the 9th grade for 20 years, I wrote nothing but poetry. So over 20 years, I have thousands and thousands of poems that I have written, and that has translated into me publishing my own children's poetry book, which is on Amazon, Children's Lullabies, Poetry for the Soul, and in Spanish, Poemas para el Alma. And that has really translated into writing music, because music is poetry. Music is rhymes.
Yeah.
Music is bars, is really just lines that meet and have a message and rhyme,
That's
yeah, and I was
awesome.
gonna ask you about the book. I know you said it had a kids book, but I guess you beat me to it. Well, you say you can find it where, in Amazon?
On Amazon, yes.
Okay, nice. So everybody go check out the Amazon book.
Is there, I know we're gonna hopefully wrap it up. I mean, is there anything you want to ask to teach? I mean, not teachers. You want to ask people out there watching out there as far as new music coming out? What are we expecting from Lala this year, coming up in 2025? I mean, we're still in April already. Not even halfway out, but how what do we expect from you?
So this Friday, a new song is gonna drop. It's called Rise. And every 3 weeks, just be ready for a new song.
Cool.
I still have, like I said, like 7 songs left. And I also have a collab with a friend. He's African American. His name is Juma. Shout outs to Juma. He's just such a sweet, amazing boy. It's like a whole different vibe. But I did do part of the beat, and then his producer completed and did the beat with us, but something just different,
Okay.
But yeah, and then let's just see where everything goes, if I do sign or not. Like, I know if I do sign, this person has like just very good knowledge of like marketing strategies and all that. So I'm gonna be way more on social media and like content creation and all that, which is what I need and I want to do it. So yeah, just
Where can we find you?
for everything. So on all my social media platforms, I'm at Lala's VIP.
Okay.
And it's only on YouTube that I'm at Miss Lala, MZ Lala, or Arriba La Vida Music.
Okay. Perfect.
And don't forget about TikTok. You have everything.
TikTok, at
Everything,
Lala's
Miss Lala.
VIP, Instagram.
Cool.
Okay. Before we wrap it up, I do have 2 questions. I want you to. Question number 1: 2025 Miss Lala, 2012 Miss Lala.
Oof.
What is one message you would tell that girl in 2012? And I'm not saying just for you. I'm saying for new people that are coming out into this industry, into the internet, or into they're having a hard time in life. What message would you give them? Now that you have God presence.
Be a creator, not a consumer. Of course, we need to consume. Of course, we need to follow. But don't fall in the trap of thinking you have to do what everybody else is doing. Like, stay authentic to yourself. Someone's going to respect you more if you're just you. And it's very transparent. Like, people could tell. Don't try hard. Just be you. And I know sometimes it's like, but people are not gonna like my hair like this. But people are not gonna like me with little breasts. So let me get big. Like, no, like just do you. Like just be you. Like God is perfect. He doesn't make no mistakes. So if he created you like that and with those treasures and talents and gifts, like use those, follow those. Don't try to do music because everybody's doing music. Don't do this because everybody's doing that. Do it because that's really in your heart. Because even if it gets to get called on you to be a gardener, you could be one of the best gardeners in the world. You could do some amazing things. If you're just called, and not just because it's not just like if you're called to be a chef, like be a chef. That's who you are. You know what I mean? And you could do some amazing things when your heart is in it.
There you guys go from
Hey,
Miss
close it,
LALA.
man.
And the last one, I really want you to clear the record because with my personal friends, we had a guest here a couple months ago, Michael Ruiz. And I asked him, I'm like, hey, bro, like, I know these people say, like, man was always, like, trolling me about, like, I grew up in East LA, but I moved at a later time. I moved to Boyle Heights. And he would always be like, oh, you going to your house over in East LA? I'm like, no, I stay in Boyle Heights. So can you make a clarification here, since you're from East LA? Is East LA the same as Boyle Heights?
Hell no.
Thank you. Thank you.
No.
You know
No.
what? Michael Reese says
He's
yes.
like, at the same time, like, no, it's not.
it's not.
But I didn't want to go back and forth with him. I was just like, no, it's not. It's,
it's not?
definitely not. No, bro.
Definitely
When
not.
you say, oh, go, but like, I feel
I
like
don't know.
I honestly feel and believe that Boyle Heights, I used to think East Los was hood. Boyle Heights is another level.
I told him the same thing. There's
I'm
never
serious.
parking.
There's never parking.
There's never parking. I mean, there's never parking in East LA too, but Boyle Heights is another level, bro. They'll give you a
Another
ticket at 1 in the
level.
morning for parking in red.
That's
1 in the
good.
morning, bro.
That's good. You should be parking in red room.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
rules,
that's
dog.
beside the fact. That's
No,
beside the point.
honestly, Boyle Heights is hot. Let me just share this quick story. I was shooting Mis Travesuras music video. That's a regional Mexicano song that I did. And I was doing it in the little casita where the mariachi meets on
Okay.
Boyle and First Street.
On Don Bunny.
Huh?
On
By
Don
Don
Bunny,
Boni,
right?
by Don Boni.
Que es Don Boni?
It's the
The birreria.
birreria place, no? You never?
It's not about no.
Sorry,
Okay,
it
that's
says
how,
there.
okay.
Sorry about
Okay,
that.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how everything started. So he told us about this birreria place Don Boni, and then he's like, oh, it's in East LA. I'm like, where East LA? He told me the streets by the Mariachi Plaza.
Chalillos Birreria is in East LA.
Yeah, Chalillos in East LA. So I'm like, he's like, oh, it's next to the Mariachi Plaza. I'm like, that's not East LA, that's Boyle Heights. He's like, bro, it's the same thing. I'm like, no, it's
Man.
not.
Okay.
I don't know why people from East LA like us, bro. Like we take that personal,
Hard.
bro. We
I'm
take
sorry
that
about
personal,
that,
Very
bro.
I'm
personal.
sorry about
But
that.
yeah. So you were saying you were recording in
That day, we finished recording and we went back to the car. We actually parked in a little parking lot that's in the back. Wow, everything looked creepy. Like just all the people around, it just looked creepy. So we're walking to the car and somebody comes running into that parking lot and just starts yelling, I don't know what, and then just climbs to the roof. And then this other car just comes and I just think we're just gonna get blasted. We're just gonna die. I just felt like we're just gonna die right there. Like it was just so insane. And I'm like, bro, it's like 4 p.m. Like that's how hot it's out there. Like 4 p.m. broad daylight, and like it just, and you just see everybody just get up and scatter and run, and it was just like, where were all these people at? Like it was just crazy.
yeah.
But make sure.
I do want to thank. Yes, I do want to thank you for
Yeah,
you know
thank you so
taking the
much.
time because it's hard. You guys don't understand. It's really hard for you to take time, especially when you're busy. We've had a couple people that are pending just because they're busy and they're doing whatever they're doing. But yes, please make sure you guys go ahead and follow Miss LALA, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Thank you guys for staying tuned.
Thank you again for watching, and thank you for coming to our
Thank you
show.
for
Appreciate
coming.
it.
you,
And
guys.
See you guys.
we expect to hear your music, #1 Billboard.
Amen.
That's what we strive for.
Amen.
So we'll catch you guys on to the next. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment.
Peace.
Peace.
Perfect.